Hello, everyone. First thing, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. Thanks for the invite. So as she introduced me, I'm Luciana. I'm the General Manager for Open Finance in Nubank. So we had a lot of interesting discussions today talking about different technologies, different protocols. And in this presentation, I'm going to bring a bit what is the implementation of large scale of all the protocols, technologies we were discussing in Brazil. Open Finance is quite a large system. We have about 28 million customers sharing their data through the Open Finance APIs, more than 800 players participating in the system. I'm going to cover a bit more about that. But it's really, really nice to be here and listen to all the content that's been shared so far. And I hope you enjoy this presentation about Nubank. So the first thing, I just brought a video here. Nubank is now the biggest digital bank in the globe. It was founded in 2013, so in a matter of 10 years, we went from 0 customers to more than 90 million customers in Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. So I believe that this video illustrates well what I mean about Nubank, a bit of the story of the bank. So I'll just play that. It's going to take us 1 to 2 minutes. I hope it works.
Nubank is one of the world's largest digital financial services platforms. We're also the 5th largest financial institution in Latin America in number of customers. With only 10 years of existence, our impact on financial services and innovation is already striking. And it all started with a small group of dreamers united by an audacious purpose: to revolutionize the financial landscape by focusing on what the customer needed. Year after year, we grew. We ended 2014 with a modest 6,000 customers. Today, our impact reaches millions of people in Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. In 2021, we celebrated a successful IPO on the New York Stock Exchange and in Brazil. As a public company, we have grown operating leverage and expanded even further. Today, Nubank is one of the most efficient companies in the market. Our achievements resonate globally. In 2022, we ranked among the Time 100 most influential companies globally. In 2023, we were celebrated as the most innovative company in Latin America by Fast Company and ranked 5 globally. We are proud of the recognition, and yet we never settle. Achievements like those push us forward to keep building a world of new possibilities for our customers. We've built strong and diverse teams. Today, we have over 7,000 professionals from 50 nationalities distributed in 7 countries: Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia, United States, and Germany. With our brand, scale, data, profits, and talent, Nu has the potential to go beyond financial services. We're constantly building products that are fundamentally different. Our goal is to help people optimize how they earn and use their money across every single financial decision, from investing and lending to day-to-day transactions. That way, we're scaling to a true platform. We offer more than products. We offer trust, simplicity, and make a difference in the financial lives of millions.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So this is a bit how Nubank started. Most of the things you saw, it was about our headquarters in Brazil. Our founder was there all the time. It's actually a Colombia that went to Brazil and had some difficulties in opening a bank account. So he felt there was a lot of opportunities to really, really disrupt a system that was pretty much concentrated in 5 big players back in 2013. So just to color a bit that introduction, those are the latest numbers that we released. You can see how steep our customer curve went, right? So if you think in 2018, we had about 3 to 4 million customers. We entered the pandemic in 2020 with 20 million customers. And now we have more than 90 million customers. Those are the numbers of October. So you can imagine that the number is already higher than that. We are going to be releasing our new results of Q4 1 month from now, more or less. So that's really, really a successful story, tremendous growth happening. We were first a credit card only company. That was the product we had until 2018. And after that, we started to launch several other products. I'm not sure if you can see the arrow. Yes, you can. So this is the list of products we've been launching since 2018. There are many products. There are others that are being developed, not launched yet. So it's really, really an amazing story. And I'm very glad to be here working for Nubank for the last 6 years or so. Revenues more than $2 billion US dollars in the last quarter. We are profit positive. And when we talk about all of that, I'm just going to bring a bit the number of customers we have using each one of our products, right? So Credit card, that it was our first product. We do have about 40 million customers using this product on a monthly basis. We do have accounts, 65 million customers. Then we also have solutions for small, medium enterprises, investment options, insurance, and I'm probably missing one, and personal loans, and there are more products that are quite just starting. But this is a bit the trajectory of going from a credit card only company to almost a full scope bank in Latin America. And how we are doing all of that? We have a very strong culture. We always put the customer in the center, and that's why we are recognized by different magazines. We ranked usually among the top most lovable brands in Brazil and in the region. It was the first time that a bank actually made to such a rank. We usually see brands like Coca-Cola, Google, those type of brands, but Nubank was the first bank, at least in the region, to make to such a rank. And what we do, mission-driven culture, as I said, very strong. We want to deliver always extraordinary customer experiences. And how we are doing that? Advanced technology. Most of the things are built in-house at Nubank. Most of the products, technology, so on and so forth, everything built in-house. We have a unique coding code that is called Closure, for those who are more familiar with. So that gives us a lot of speed, right? We control everything. Everything is in-house. Our software engineers are working, making code decisions, always putting the customer in the center, and proprietary data science. I think that's something very important. And when you look to our infinite flywheel, you see a lot of things that might come related to open finance when you speak. More data, definitely. Engagement at scale, lower costs. So that's a bit of how open finance really, really connects with what we are doing that. And that's why open finance is such a big, big priority for us. I'm going to get a bit more to the open finance context, present how we are performing, how the market is performing in Brazil overall. And I believe it's going to be clear to you how much energy we are putting in open finance in Brazil and what we see in terms of potential and really, really delivering better value to customers. Cool. So now I'm going to jump to open finance. So open finance, as we all know, it's happening in several countries across the globe. Sometimes it's more market-driven or regulatory-driven. In the case of Brazil, it's regulatory-driven. So we do have the Brazilian Central Bank dedicating a lot of effort to make sure that specifications are aligned with the best practices globally, that it's really, really pro an open system where customers can share data, really banks can do use cases that will benefit customers. So I'm quite happy to work with the Brazilian Central Bank in this agenda. There were other agendas such as PIX, real-time payments before that. I was also working in that agenda specifically back in 2021. So it's really, really positive to see how our central bank has been pushing different agendas and being very, very successful. When we are talking about open finance, pretty much open data, open APIs, everything is being shared among all the institutions with the customer consent. Always customer needs to opt in the data or a payment, so on and so forth. And what we can make with that? We literally deliver personalized services, right? We can open the economy and literally foster competition because now the customer has access to more options. He can compare different products more easily. So that's a bit of open finance, and that's why it's so important to the central bank in Brazil. We are going to be driving innovation, greater financial inclusion, and also stimulate economic growth. That is something really, really important to a country such as Brazil, where some years ago, most of the population didn't have access to the financial system. Now it's a different reality that we have in the country. You might just see this app over here. This is a prototype shared by the central bank, Brazilian Central Bank. Pretty much the plan is you have all your credentials in one place. And we are talking about banks, but we have other extensions such as healthcare insurances, the vaccines, so on and so forth. So that's only the first screen. There are more screens that would literally consolidate the financial life of the Brazilians in one place. And we have our real-time payment system that is called PIX, the one in here. I'm quite short, so I cannot reach anything. So PIX, and that's the vision. That's the vision that the central bank published. That's how aligned it is. And you might imagine how they're going to get access to all of that. It's through open finance. It's through customers really sharing their data from different accounts and us consolidating everything in one app, or the central bank, or the bank that has the better UX. So it's kind of a huge competition, right? Who gets right first might get the customer engagement, and I believe that everybody's just running to see who is going to get it right. And how it's been developed, it's a phased approach, and that's something that gives us a lot of speed, because if we need to adapt something from one phase to another, or even in the same phase, there is an agenda that is constantly evolving. So when we go to phase one, that it's here, right? So it was in February 2021, and then it was exactly when institutions, financial institutions, just shared their aggregated data. So what are the products that they have, how many customers are using each one of the products, the average interest rate in case that it was a low one, and 5 products joined this first phase, 4 products joined this first phase. So it's a credit card, accounts, credit operations, which includes loans and registry information. So that was the first phase, aggregated level. Phase 2, that it's when I like to say that things start to get very, very interesting at my perspective, that it was when customers were invited to join. So in phase 2, banks, the central bank started to tell customers, you can now take all your historical data from institution A and share with institution B. What that means, if you're going to start a new relationship, you are not starting from scratch. You are really starting with the historical data you already accumulated with different institutions. And that was when consents, volumes, everything started to really, really grow and become something really important. 2021, customers started to participate. Phase 3, it's a phase where we start to have services inside Open Finance. Payment initiation, that's what I'm talking about here. So customers at phase 3 started to have the possibility of moving money that they have in a bank through another bank's app. Let's say that all my money, it's at, I'll just use some names in Brazil, like Itaú, Santander, and I want to use that money to pay something, use my Nubank app. That's phase 3. Now it's possible in Brazil. You can move the money from your accounts from a different app. And that means that customers with time will be able to choose the app that they really like and go one step towards simplifying their financial lives. Phase 4, that's where we are right now. And what we have in phase 4, we have a further development of phase 2 and 3. What we have planned for this year so far, at least, what the central bank has released, I'm sure more things are going to come. There is a new agenda to be released just next week. So what do we know so far? Investments data is already live. So it was implemented in November or December last year. So customers can also share their investments portfolio from one company to another. That's actually very, very great, because companies can just start offering better options, right? So I have a higher yield for you, so why don't you move your money from these investments to that other investment? It's now possible. Then we have data from other products joining, such as insurance. So sometimes we see open insurance happening separate from open finance. We do have that separately at first in Brazil, but now it's all coming together in open finance. So insurance data is also going to be available through this system very soon. For foreign currency operations, private pension funds. So this is what is planned. There is much more things planned, technical changes also, a lot of different certifications. So it's really, really a system that it's developing very fast and continuously changing. So it's quite an agile system, if I may say, right? So every week there is news, every month there is something new that it's released. We do discuss a lot of the proposals with the central bank, not only Nubank, but all the banks. So there is a lot of openness to build together a system that it's going to be successful. And talking about success, I think we already got to something really, really important. I'm going to get here in a bit, but first, we have about 800 players participating in open finance in Brazil. Those are financial institutions, B2B companies, payment initiators. So you imagine the ecosystem that we are creating. We already have 800 companies that's actually certified to be part of open finance in Brazil. 28 million users share their data from bank A to bank B to C, like you name it. And we are talking about 42 million consents. So definitely that's a very, very large system. Of course, Brazilian population is huge. We are talking about 225 million people. So that's why we get to such a numbers such amazing numbers in kind of a fast pace. And what that means exactly to security. What is the concern of customers? Is this system really, really secure? Can I share my data? Is my data going to leak, and so on and so forth? So that was a concern since day zero. Since before Open Finance was launched, the first discussions that we started to engage with the central bank, It was all about what are the safety protocols that we need to adopt in open finance in Brazil. This needs to be a system that has no issues in terms of security. So what we did, we implemented pretty much the standards that are the ones in the United Kingdom and Australia. United Kingdom definitely the system that came before open finance in Brazil. So we do a lot of benchmarks with the United Kingdom. We read a lot of things of what is going on right there, because there are some years ahead of us, so definitely we can learn. So when it comes to the security protocols, we are talking about OAuth 2.0, OpenID Connect, FAPI, everything adapted to the Brazilian standards. So it's literally what we've been discussing today. So that's how the system is being run in Brazil. How it starts, customer gives shared data between one institution to another. Then we have our authorization and resource servicers producing all of that. What we are talking in terms of volume, 42 million consents, as I told you, so that's the access token, 42 million access tokens being created. And we also have the refresh token that needs to be updated quite frequently. It doesn't last for a day, so that's the API calls we are having per day. 160 million API calls being performed among all those players that I just showed. Those are the logos of the big Brazilian banks. So that's the volume that we are talking about. It's really, really impressive volume. Of course, some of the banks are having some issues in dealing with this volume because it's all the time there is an API coming from one of the banks or another. And when we are talking about who, I'll just come back to that in a bit. Who is performing those API calls? 1.2 B calls per week. 55% of those calls are being performed by us, by Nubank. We are really, really interested in the data, in the system. We do have some real-time use cases that we need to make sure that customers are getting access to the latest information that they have. Customers want to see their balance in the Nubank app. I need to make sure that I'm showing the most fresh information that I can fetch from the system. So that's why we are doing so many calls to the system. Out of the 28 million customers that I shared, 35% are Nubank customers that share their external data with us. And there is also payment initiation, but this is just starting in Brazil. So if you see 1.6 million transactions being performed per week, it's pretty much nothing. So I hope that next time that I have the opportunity to be here, we present something more impressive about payments, but that's only starting. So that's Nubank receiving from the system, Nubank customers sharing with us. On the other side, Nubank consents being transmitted. 30% of the consents in the market are from Nubank to another institution. So if you see, like, it's really, really us taking a good chunk of the consents in the market. API calls, we are performing 55% of the calls, right? So it's data coming to us. About 20% of the calls are data coming from Nubank to the other banks. This is a bit of how active we are being, and there are different strategies, so I'm not comparing who is doing better or not, but those are only the numbers. And payment initiation, 25% of the money the transactions being successful in the system are from Nubank money starting from a different app. So those are the big numbers. Just to show you a bit here, the curve of consent. We joined a bit later because at the time, and we are still not considering a segment 2 company in Brazil. That means representation in the JGP of Brazil. So it was not mandatory for us to join at the first moment, that it was in 2021. We were very, very active in discussing specifications, working together with the other banks and the central bank, because we thought that was the best use of our effort. Let's make sure that we get to the best standards in the market, and after that, we are just going to prioritize to see when we join. We joined here in October, in the end of October 2022, 0 consents when we joined, that it's a bit this curve here, down here. And then in a matter of less than 6 months, we turned the system from 11 million to more than 22 million consents. So it was literally like the other banks really, really keen to get our data. We are a new bank, as we just discussed, so we have fresh data from customers. So that was the time I really want to get Nubank data, and we really wanted to get data as well. So I do see, I've been following Open Finance since 2020, actually. So I do see that competition really, really start to become more aggressive after we join. It might be us playing, others really wanting our data. So that's how the curve actually is evolving in terms of consent. In a matter of a year, if we are to extend the time frame, we went from 11 million active consents to about 40 million consents. So that's, when I said large scale, that's what I'm referring to. In a matter of a year, you are just more than tripling the volume of consents, API calls, everything happening in the system. You might just see what is happening here in December. That's something that we are correcting right now. But before, the consents would expire every 12 months. So if you think I'm going to use that data to train my my credit underwriting models or other models, usually you need more time than 6 months, definitely very close to 1 year. So when you discover that there is value coming from open finance data, that consent is about to expire. So it was really something that was preventing us to use more the data for credit decisions, that it's number one thing that customers have in mind. If you ask a customer, what do you know about open finance? I can get more credit. So that's what the Brazilian population thinks nowadays about open finance. We are trying to work on the education. But this is about to change. In November, we changed. It was changed the specifications, and the consents no longer expire every 12 months. So definitely it's a big, big win for the system and for us to deliver value to customers. And talking about value to customers, we are focusing our efforts in 3 pillars. So we want to empower customers to make better financial lives. Let me just play the app here so you can also see the experience. Is it playing? Never mind, I have some screenshots. This was supposed to be our app just for you to feel a bit the experience we have. It is, perfect. So you can just watch, it's all in Portuguese, sorry about that. But you can kind of feel what we are delivering to customers when it comes to open finance. So first thing, empower customers to make better financial decisions. Here, it's us telling customers how to make better allocation of their money, given that we know more about the customer than only what he has at open finance. Insights, pretty much, I'm going to show what it's implemented in a bit. The second one is to centralize and simplify their financials in one place. So everything that we can launch when it comes to aggregation, that's really important because customers can go to one place and see all their financial life in one place. We launched so far account aggregation. Most of our customers have another account. Not all of them have a loan or a credit card, but of course, we are prioritizing things to deliver more value to customers. Third-party payment initiation is definitely something that fits here, also simplifying customers' life. And there is the third pillar, that it's innovation, right? So what else can we do? What else can we build on top of open finance? That it's not, if I may say, the traditional open finance use cases that might be what we implemented so far in number 1 and 2. The app here just showed a bit if I have time. This is our home screen. Then the customer goes to the Open Finance Hub. He's going to share his data from another bank. This is everything that he's sharing. He chooses the institution. He gets redirected to the other institution. The other institution is the one that has to approve this data sharing transaction. All the things are checked. Security protocols, as I just mentioned, are checked by the other institution. The customers get back to our app. He starts to see all their accounts consolidated in one place. Itaú, the consent that he just gave, 800 reais. He's going to transfer part of this 800 reais to Nubank. He chooses what he wants to do exactly. He gets transferred again to the other bank has to authenticate that transaction, and then the customer comes back to our app. Transaction was completed, successful. I'm running over time, but I just wanted to show you a bit the 4 use cases that we implemented so far. Account aggregation that we just saw. Idle money, whenever we identify that you have money in another account and it could be yielding you more money at Nubank, we let you know. We send you a push notification. This is the bar, just comparing the returns, right? So this is what you are making. That's what you could be making if you bring this money to Nubank. Overdraft detection, whenever one of your accounts go into negative, we'll let the customer know. That became quite popular in social media because not all the other institutions are letting the customer know you went into an overdraft situation. Do you have money to cover for that? They charge interest rates. Interest rates in Brazil, it's about 13% a year, 13% a year, so it's quite high. So definitely something like, it's a golden mine, if I may say, right? Interest rates overall. And the fourth is payment initiation, plus using data in most of our internal models to see the power of the data. So pretty much that's what I had to share. I hope it was useful for you. Questions, anything, happy to address after this session as well. Thank you.